one of the main tenets of open theism is this belief that in some way that humans and perhaps even other creatures have some degree of freedom. But there are some in neurological and mind-body research who question the possibility of actual freedom amongst humans. And Brint Montgomery wants to respond to that kind of concern.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. The worry is genuine. If it turns out that we could get an exact material condition snapshot of the brain, maybe electrical, chemical, maybe even all the way down to the quantum level, then the worry is we might be predictable. And so if we're predictable, we wouldn't be free. And if we're not free, can we be held morally accountable? So the question of free will is quite interesting. And this might go three ways. At first, it might say, well, look, you're 2099, and we now have brain scanners the size of small rooms. You walk in, you sit down, very controlled conditions, and we can ask you questions or show you stimuli, and we'll be able to predict within 2, 3, 10 minutes what you would do within those very controlled conditions. So we have such deep resolution of your brain. Now, maybe the antecedent would obtain that we take the snapshot and we make the predictions. Some people would feel comfortable with a kind of a compatibilist view. They would say, well, as long as you're doing what you want to do and there are no external constraints on your wants, then you're still free, even though you're still determined, even though you're still predicted. And so many have said, well, this looks like you're just cheating on what we mean by free will, because the worry is if you couldn't do otherwise, and if it turns out that your wants are somehow forced by the natural system that you're in, then this is a strange use of the word freedom. It's a very old criticism. Another way it might go is, well, if we had the exact material conditions all the way down to whatever level would be predictable. I mean, after all, there's only, again, 1,300, 1,400 cc of matter. Surely we can scan this out and get the conditions. Well, it might be that you just cannot get to the exact conditions. It might be that there are no facts of the matter, at how, if you get down low enough at the microphysical level, of how a network, otherwise in our head known as the brain, really processes information. So you could say, well, if we are not free, we would never come to know it on epistemic grounds. And if we are free, we may never come to know it on epistemic grounds. And so this is not an empirically defeasible issue. And so it will remain a permanently open issue on that ground. So it might go that way. Again, if we do get a full snapshot, then you'd still have to worry about the compatibilistic grounds. The third way, and the final way I'll mention it might go, is this. And this is highly controversial. There might be such things as emergent properties. There might be systems such that new properties appear at higher levels due to the linked and interactive system causally. And there are a lot of theories on that going around right now. And it does look like black magic under some conditions. We don't have to like it, but if it turns out that there are empirical conditions that show these properties arise, then something like quantum theory, we may not like what we see, but it may turn out to be just the kind of way that the world goes. If it turns out that free will is a function of some sort of emergent property, maybe it emerges on information processing, maybe there is a different dimension of influence physically that we can't get to, then we could still say, well, maybe the free will not resolve, or maybe if we do have free will, we'll never really be able to explain it. So it'll be kind of a Mysterian condition of free will, as opposed to an analogous Mysterian condition of how consciousness arises from material conditions. So that's how I'd answer the libertarian issue.
Excellent. Thanks to the three of you.